Welcome to our Geek. This is Al.
This is Mike.
And this show is all about rating, evaluating SH figure arts, model kits that you can build from ground up, and also Lego kits, Lego sets, Lego models, whatever we can geek out on and have a good time. Sit back and just geek out on. We will have it right here.
Yep. These toys, cards, Lego sets, figures, you name it, represent a piece of our childhood and adulthood. They are our generation of art. We have them displayed all over the house. We're not worried about the collector's value. We take them out of the box, display them, and show them a little piece of ourselves.
That's absolutely correct. And now let's go ahead and geek out with our Geek, and let's get to the show.
My name is Mike. Today is a solo video. Just me, Al. It's not available today. Sorry for the background mess. It's my apartment. I don't really have a spot to record traditionally. Typically we do it at Al's house, but I felt like I want to do a quick little video just to fill out time. Just wanted to do video in honor of the Yugioh trading cards 25th anniversary. I know during our Pokemon card opening and our recent Stardust video, I mentioned I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, so I wanted to talk about my Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And then I could show you my playmat and whatnot. I know Yu-Gi-Oh celebrating its 25th anniversary. And just pull up my quick notes. The first Yu-Gi-Oh set to come out was Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon in March 8th, 2002. It's pretty much what started it all. I was a fan of the Yu-Gi-Oh anime growing up. I started with Duelist Kingdom, obviously the original. Never really played the card game until the 5Ds era. When I watched Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds, I saw the anime and I was like, all right, I'm going to actually learn how to play the card game for once. And since then, I've been a fan since. I've been playing in person. I've been playing Master Duel recently. Anybody that's been playing Master Duel right now, we're tired of seeing Cash-Tiras. They're board blocking. I'm tired of playing with them too, trust me. So right here, I just want to talk about my Yu-Gi-Oh decks. I have them built in Master Duel and in real life. I do prefer playing them in person. It's not the same online, in my opinion. I kind of like having the human interaction. It feels like I'm more like the anime. You're just talking. You make friends. Sometimes you make enemies, but kind of like the banter is always fun. Trust me. Sometimes you find out another anime fan, which we pretty much relive some of the greatest anime moments in the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise. So, real quick, here are my decks. First one in my Amy Rose box is my two best decks. First one, it is my Rose Dragon deck. The Rose Dragon deck was the one my very first deck I built. I've been constantly updating it through the years. It's not funny enough. It's not the exact same deck that it was like years ago. It's way better than it was. It was a hot mess back then. I kind of based it off of Yugioh. Kiza from Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds. Obviously, her signature monster is the Black Rose Dragon. Obviously, I also pretty much base it similar to Yusei Fudo's playstyle in a way, but less plot armor, because I wish I had that plot armor for his. But it typically plays as your typical synchro deck. It has a little bit of Xyz monsters in the extra deck. Typically, my goal in this deck is just bring out either a strong synchro monster or a strong Xyz monster. I do not like ending up setting a board and pass with this deck. It feels embarrassing because this was the one I worked on the most. I won't go through the whole deck because it is 60 cards, like at least 42 cards, 60 Gs. It was 60 when I first started. I had no idea. I just put a bunch of cards in there and hope for the best. Another thing different than my other decks is this one's more trap card heavy, funny enough. A lot of my other decks don't really have much trap cards. This one, trap cards and like quick play spells. I typically have it because I have Lord of the Heavenly Prisons to protect my trap cards from card destructions. So while I'm trying to set up a board, I'll either hype my Synchros or Xyz monsters, and I have my back row to protect me. Now these days it's not really the best playstyle since back row removal is very common. But like I said, this is the one I first started with, and I'm going to stick to how its playstyle. It really doesn't let me down. It's no longer my best deck. I'll show you my best deck after this. But it's one of my most consistent decks, and I know for a fact that it won't let me down because I could keep playing it. Even a bad hand will at least play through completely. I will show you some of my top monsters in this deck. I have Ancient Fairy Dragon. My second favorite monster of our time, Black Rose Dragon. One of my favorite synchro monsters recently, Cyber's Quantum Dragon. The good old Clearwing Synchro Dragon. My favorite card of all time, Stardust Dragon. You might have seen that card when we talked about our Stardust video. Satellite Warrior. I know Master Duel fans will know this card very well. Baron de Fleur. Rudy Rose Dragon, the evolution of my second favorite monster. Nice tale about Rudy Rose Dragon is that it's pretty much an evolution of Black Rose Dragon due to Yusei's and Akiza's relationship and friendship. Rudy Rose no longer became a monster of destruction because she is now a monster of protection. So it's kind of a sweet story. Chaos Angel, as some of you see, it's in Japanese. I'm not willing to drop $80 for an English copy yet. Just like Baron de Fleur, I'm hoping the price would drop where I could have an English copy. It just feels weird not having an English copy. I also have a picture of Chaos Angel on my phone just in case somebody needs the rules, but typically anybody I play with already knows how it works. I skipped out on my Garden Rose Maiden. She's just pretty much a combo slender. Geomathmech Sigma, the towers of my deck. He's pretty easy to synchro summon. I was relatively surprised. The only thing I don't like about him is that he has to be an extra monster stone to be unimmune to card effects, but I get it. I mean, I'm hoping there could be another synchro towers eventually that I don't have to force it to be in the extra monster zone. I know it doesn't really, in real life, is not an issue. With Master Duel, I always feel like I misclick and put it somewhere else. Then my Xyz monsters, Raider's Knight. Some of you already know where this is going. Then Dark Rebellion Dragon. Love Dark Rebellion Dragon. He won me mini games in his evolution. Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon. Pretty much the boss monster in my deck. I tried to have him ready to go. Funny enough, with Mathmech Sigma, since his effect will still be live, even if Arc Rebellion Dragon does his stealing attack points. So this is, my Rose Dragon deck. It means a lot to me. It's pretty much my childhood deck. It works still. Not the best deck in the world, especially compared to my actual real competitive deck. But it does its job, and I love it. It will always be there, and I'll always upgrade. If there's any more Rose Dragons out there in the future, come on, Konami, make some new ones. I will definitely add them in a deck. My second deck, it's my Marincess deck. My Marincess deck is pretty much my competitive deck. This is the one I play Master Duel and competitive rankings, and anybody else that plays competitively. Unlike my Rose Dragon deck, it pretty much has your typical staples like Kaijus, Call by the Grave, Ash Blossom, Joyous Spring, and Goals and Match. And then if I could find it, Infinite Permanence. Yu-Gi-Oh players all know, Yu-Gi-Oh player around the world knows those types of cards. It's pretty much a very negate heavy, destruction removal. You know how it is. And I have Dimensional Barrier to see if I can just prevent people from going to their extra decks. Marincess, I built it, I'll say a few years ago. It's probably after I watched the Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains anime. I saw him on the anime Sky Tizen's Sky, who was Blue Angel and Blue Maiden. Used them when she had Aqua on her side. I kind of liked how they looked in the show. I like how they play. they are the best deck I have, the fastest, easily. As long as I have Marinta's Blue Tang in my hand, I feel like I could do anything. This deck is my most consistent deck. I could literally keep link climbing all the way to my boss monsters relatively easy. I love the deck. It's pretty much carried me so many wins. It's very reliant on its field spell, unfortunately. There's ways of protection, but I always try to at least have one extra field spell in my hand just in case. Hopefully, if any more Marincesses get made, that'd be cool. I know there's few. I haven't had them all. I mean, it'd be cool if I had a Marincess Synchro Monster, since Synchro Monsters is my favorite, but Marincess is more of a link basis, so that's highly impossible. I'm pretty sure that won't happen. But Luis thought Hungry Burger wasn't going to get any support, and now he has a whole ritual deck based off him, so you never know. I won't go through the whole deck because there's a lot of cards. Typically, people are more interested in extra deck. So here's my first card, number 4, Silent Kraken. He's the only Xyz monster in my deck. He's pretty much a combo. If I could just have him out, those in match, I just pretty much lock people out of playing non-water monsters. You'd be surprised how often that works. Not a lot of people play water monsters, mostly dark and light. Let's see, got my 2 copies of Marinta's Sea Angel, Marinta's Blue Slug. They're just combo extenders. Marinta's Crystal Heart 3 copy is very important for my boss monsters. Without this or the field spell, they kind of suck. So they kind of need that. They're very reliant on their field spell. And Marinta's Crystal Heart. Marinta's Anemone, 3 copies. She's another combo extender. If I play her and the Crystal Heart, I could pretty much link summon my 3 boss monsters relatively ease. Marinta's Aqua Argonaut, Marinta's Blue Wonder Heart, and Marinta's Bubble Reef. I also have Marinta's Marble Rock as a backup if I can't get to any of the big 3 Link 4s. Funny enough, Marinta's Aqua Argonaut, the reason why it was one of my favorite cards, because she kind of reminds of Nia from Xenoblade 2. Very biased, I know. Funny enough, she also kind of looks like Melia from Xenoblade 1 with the staff and hair, so some of you might know I have a thing for girls with platinum color hair, so that doesn't help. But Marinta's is an awesome deck. I love it. It's my fastest, my strongest deck. I pretty much feel kind of undefeated when I'm playing Marinta's. Not the greatest deck. It could be easily beat, especially if you prevent me from playing Marinta's Battle Ocean, because the deck heavily relies on that field spell. Without it, it kind of just falls apart, which is kind of a balancing thing, because the field spell kind of makes the Marinta's, the link, especially my link 4s, unimmune to card effects, my opponent's card effects. So if you don't read that, it's pretty much game over. It's pretty much, as long as I can link summon it with Crystal Heart, Marinta's Battle Ocean, typically they are unaffected by card effect. Excuse me. And they typically have over 4,000 attack points, so they're pretty much a Towers deck. But those are my 2 big ones. My next deck are I didn't display it. It's just a green box. I put Marinta's Aqua Argonaut on it. I just picked it because I kind of liked how she looked. Funny enough, if you ever wonder why I pick Amy Rose for my Marinta's deck, not my Marinta's deck, my first box, is Rose Dragons. Amy Rose is kind of obvious. And she's my favorite Sonic character, as you guys saw in episode 3 recently. My next deck is my Makenko deck. It's brand recent. Makenko's is kind of brand new. It's a ritual-based deck that works around equipment cards. Most of the monsters have 0 attack points. And then when they're equipped, the opponent takes damage instead of you. It's kind of like while you're hitting yourself kind of the deck. And Mechanicals heavily rely on their equipment spells. And their field spell kind of is important because without the field spell, the opponent can not attack. They don't have to attack, but with the field spell, they're forced to attack. The extra deck for Mechanicals, it's kind of like a hodgepodge I made because it's pretty much super poly. I have super polymerization in this deck. I just have it just to steal opponents' monsters and make a bunch of fusion, maybe Xyz monsters if I steal their monsters. This Makenko has an equipped spell that can steal monsters. Let me just show it here real quick. I do not know the name by heart, and I call myself a Makenko player. Wow. Let me just show it right here. Of course, it's buried. Yeah, Makenko Reflection Rondo. It could steal monsters from the opponent's side. So typically, if I have that, I can make an Xyz monsters, typically level 3. If I have a level 8 fusion, I can make a rank 8. But mostly it's just super polymerization. For those that you don't know, super polymerization can use monsters from any field to fusion summon monsters. Other cards cannot respond to super polymerization. So it's pretty much a great board breaker. And I typically have the usual super poly targets like Mud Dragon of the Swamp, Garora, the Wings of Resentment Life, I believe you pronounce it. Radiant Life, I believe. Let's see. I have the typical Predator Plants monsters. They're typically used for dark monsters, Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, Burlow Furious Dragon, Roll Chalice Dragon, easy fusion summonable monsters. And then, like, for example, I have Dragon Knight Eccles. I believe that's how you pronounce it for when I play against Synchro players. And then, obviously, a good old 5-headed dragon. Dragons are very alive in the Yu-Gi-Oh deck, in the Yu-Gi-Oh meta, so, you're always going to play a dragon deck, so it's always nice to have that. And then, a fun little card I rarely play, but I just like this card. Cypher Eyes, Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon. I love Galaxy Eyes. I've always wanted to add Galaxy Eyes in my deck, so he could easily fit into Mechanicals. So there's a lot of times I have 2 level 8 monsters, one my own, probably one I stole, so I could easily XE summon it. But Mechanicals is typically just my Why You're Hitting Yourself deck. Like I said, the extra deck is just full with like random fusion monsters that I could possibly meet. I rarely play the same fusion monsters. They're typically the same. Okay, I playing against a dark type user. I'm probably fusion summon, starting with a fusion dragon or dragons. I'll make 5-headed dragon. I don't really rely on the fusion deck, the extra deck. Fusion deck. Oh, this is 2002. My extra deck and Mechanicals their job is just to make your opponent feel like, why do I keep losing life points? Because I keep attacking these 0-point attack monsters. It's kind of fun when I play against Blue Eyes players with Mekanko because, not to be stereotypical, most Blue Eyes players don't read. And they still want to use their 4,000 attack Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon against a level with a 0-0. He will lead the dual Mekanko, and they're wondering why they're losing. You guys got to read. And Yu-Gi-Oh is a reading game, and I know this reading is Yu-Gi-Oh's players' biggest weakness. Trust me, there's days I don't read. And I wonder why that didn't work. But Mechanicals is a fun deck. I love the idea of them. They caught my interest when they were first announced in Amazing Defenders. And I was like, I have to make that deck. That's kind of cool. I don't really use equipped spells, but they're the only one I would make the exception. For my next deck, this is my most anime deck, if I call. It is my Resonator deck. I based it off of the Master of Faster, the Jack Atlas for Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, of course. It's literally Jack Atlas's deck, just more modern and more with like the usual staples, but it's Jack Atlas's deck. I'm making sure I'm making my Red Dragon Archfiends. It's just awesome. It's literally the most anime deck I could think of. Just a bunch of Resonators. I could synchro summon like crazy. I love it. It's my pure synchro deck. I had to make a pure synchro deck. I'm going to show the extra deck real quick. I have 3 Red Rising Dragons. It's pretty much more combo enablers. Cleared Wing Synchro Dragon. I have the alternate art. Can't go wrong with my boy Stardust Dragon. I also have Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon. I'm kind of bummed that I didn't mention him in our Stardust video, but I'll send that in editing. Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon reference the time when Yusei Fudo finally mastered Excel Synchro summoning in 5D's anime when he was dueling. I won't go much into it. I feel like I'll spoil it. It's an old anime, so it won't really be much of a spoil. But those that want to watch it, I won't go too much. But when he mastered Excel Synchro summoning, he was able to summon Shooting Star Dragon. Then the starter deck, Red Dragon Archfiend. Then his alternate universe version, Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend, the better version in my opinion. Clearwing Synchro Dragon, the evolution of Clearwing Synchro Dragon. Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, I'm sorry. Clearwing is the evolution. There we go. Crystal Wing is the evolution. Clearwing is the pre-evolution. And then 2 copies of Hot Dragon Archfiend Abyss. It's pretty much another Baron de Flor, but it negates face-up card effects. Speaking of, there's a copy of Baron de Flor. If you go synchro play, you can definitely have her. She's one of the easiest cards to play. Red Nova Dragon, I love it. When it first appeared in anime, it made no sense why it appeared in anime. For some reason, 4 kids just want to ignore when Jack finally learned how to double tune. I don't know what's 4 kids' issue ignoring great episodes, but whatever. Red Dragon Supernova, the upgraded version of Red Nova Dragon. And Big Boy Hot Red Calamity Archfiend. King Calamity. That's pretty much my Resonator deck. It's pretty much the most anime synchro deck ever, in my opinion. I mean, it's not as good as like the modern Yusei Fudo decks. I wish I could do one, but I tried it once. I wasn't really that good. Ironically, I know he's my favorite character, and I can pull off some of his tricks, but I kind of like, funny enough, how Jack Atlas's deck plays. I kind of wanted like a power deck. I wanted to try that out. Just real quick, like I said when I butchered it, Clear Wing Synchro Dragon evolves into Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, not the other way around. And just fumbled there. Both are just as good. It's just that's why I'm just keep thinking one or the other because they're both pretty much the same. Just one's stronger, one can negate any monster effects, and the other one only negates level 5 or higher. Let's see, what else is... I'm going to display my playmat. I'm going to take a picture of it and send it to Al for he could edit it. The playmat is just pretty much Yusei Fudo and Stardust Dragon on it. Love that character. Love the anime. Love playing Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a fun card game. It can get complicated sometimes. There's days I kind of wish they learned from Magic the Gathering and make it more simple sometimes. But then a part of me feels like, I kind of like the overcomplicated. It just feels like an anime trying to explain the crazy powers. I've been getting some family members and friends to learn to play it. I know my cousin, he probably lost to my Mekanko deck on his fault on his own because he doesn't read, and I keep telling him to read. I've been getting friends and family play it. It's just fun. It's a fun game. Overcomplicated sometimes, but once you get a hang of it, it's not that bad. And then before I go, Al mentioned that he kind of want to learn how to play. He mentioned the Red Eyes Black Dragon deck. I might see if I could find some Red Eyes cards for him if he could try it. But what do you guys think what deck he should play? What should he play? Dark Magician, Heroes, Stardust? Let's see. Any Utopia, any of the main anime hero decks, maybe some of the side hero decks. What deck he should try out? Let us know in the comments.
Well, that concludes another episode of Our Geek. Thank you for joining us. Remember to hit the notification bell so you do not miss another episode. Remember, hit the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and comment below.
Yeah, if you could leave us some constructive criticism, let us know what we did. Leave any suggestions on toys, Lego sets, SHR figure sets, any nerdy stuff you could come up with. We might look and review it. Just post it on the comments and let us know what you think.
That's right. And always remember,
Geek out.
Geek out.